You say potato, you say potato, I say patata. Bienvenidos! Welcome to another episode of Spain on a Fork. Today, we're making a classic recipe from the south of Spain, but more specifically from the beautiful region of Andalucía. We're talking Spanish spinach and potatoes. Now, this is not your typical potato dish. This is the next level greatness. We're talking potatoes that are cooked in a delicious sauce, which gives them a beautiful melt-in-your-mouth texture. And then you add in some spinach at the end for another layer of flavor and some extra healthiness, folks. As always, this recipe is very easy to make, made with very simple ingredients, and comes together in about 40 minutes. Let's begin by grabbing 12 baby red potatoes, adding them into a colander, rinsing them under some cold running water, and then scrubbing them clean. Now, to make this recipe, you can use whatever potatoes you like, though I do recommend that you use potatoes that are a bit more waxy than starchy with the way we're going to cook them. If you use potatoes that are too starchy, they're going to fall apart and not hold their shape. Other varieties you can use here are Golden Delight, Yukon Gold, or even fingerling potatoes. Then we'll pat the potatoes completely dry and cut each one in half to end up with some bite-sized pieces. And we'll also roughly chop one medium-sized onion and thinly slice 8 cloves of garlic. For the next step, I'm going to heat a large fry pan with a medium heat. Important to use a larger pan here. This is a one-pan dish, that way all the ingredients fit in there. And I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which is about 30 milliliters. After about 1 minute, I'm going to add in the chopped onion and the sliced garlic. And we'll mix the ingredients around, that way they're all coated in that olive oil. And as you know, I always like to mix this continuously, that way everything evenly sautés. After about 3 minutes, and the onion is nice and translucent and the garlic lightly sauteed, I'm going to add in a generous teaspoon of sweet smoked Spanish paprika, which is about 3 grams, and a generous half teaspoon of ground cumin, which is about 1.5 grams. And we'll mix it together, that way those spices are coating all the onion and garlic. As always, the Spanish paprika that I'm using is from Kiva. You'll find a link where you can get some in the description box below. And if you buy it from that link, you'll also get 25% off your order. Then I'm going to add in half a cup of tomato sauce, which is 115 grams. And we'll give it a mix and simmer the tomato sauce for a couple minutes. As you know, the tomato sauce that I use, I make by finely grating tomatoes, but as always, you can substitute it for the same amount of canned tomato sauce or even passata. After about 3 minutes and the tomato sauce has slightly thickened up, I'm going to add in the pieces of potato, and we'll season everything generously with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll mix it together until everything's well mixed. Then we'll add in some cold water into the pan, just enough to barely cover the potatoes, which is about 2 cups in my case, or 475 milliliters. You can also use broth here if you like. I just prefer to use the water in this recipe, that way it doesn't overpower the flavors of the dish. Then we'll turn up the heat to a high heat, give it a mix, and bring that water to a boil. Once the water comes to a boil, I'm going to place a lid on the pan and lower the fire to a low-medium heat. And we're going to simmer this between 20 to 25 minutes or until those potatoes are perfectly cooked through. In the meantime, let's start getting our spinach ready. I'm going to grab 150 grams of fresh spinach, which is about 5 ounces, and roughly chop it. As always, the fresh spinach that I'm using is bag spinach. As you know, I love this stuff because it's pre-cleaned and pre-cut, but for this recipe, you can also use frozen spinach. Just make sure you fully thaw it out and pat it completely dry. After cooking the potatoes between 20 to 25 minutes, I'm going to remove the lid from the pan. And you know, you can always tell when your potatoes are perfectly cooked through. You just pierce them with a toothpick, and if it easily goes in there, they are ready to go. For the final step, I'm going to add in the chopped spinach into the pan, place the lid back on the pan, and we're gonna go between 1 to 2 minutes here, or until that spinach is fully wilted. Then we'll remove the pan from the heat. Give it a gentle mix, that way all the ingredients are well mixed together, and once again, remember to be gentle here, otherwise you can easily break those potatoes apart. Then we'll transfer the potato mixture into a large shallow bowl. And we'll sprinkle it with some finely chopped fresh parsley for a pop of freshness. Check it out, our Spanish spinach and potatoes are done. This is known here in Spain as Espinacas con Patatas a la Andaluza. Super easy to make, the most basic ingredients, and let me tell you, the aromas coming out of it are mind-blowing good. Let's give it a try and see how it turned out. For those of you that follow Spain on a Fork, you know I'm a sucker for potatoes, so this dish I cannot wait to try. Here we go. Serious goodness in these potatoes. And they just kind of melt in your mouth, cooked in that beautiful sauce and that spinach, another layer of flavor. You know, you can serve this as a tapas appetizer, like they do in Andalucía, either at room temperature or chilled or even hot, or you can serve it as a side dish next to some grilled fish. Either way, the flavors promise to completely blow you away because these potatoes are that good. Real quick before I go, shout out to a couple of my patrons, Jean, Maybeth Robles, William Judd, Manuel J. Rosales, and Edward J. Garrison. And guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, as it really helps out the channel. Leave me a comment below, and as always, don't forget to share this video with your family and friends. That way our Spain on a Fork community can continue to grow. Till the next time, hasta luego.